It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, and 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the South Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
South Boston, Virginia, here at the South Boston Speedway, plays host to the penultimate race of the Scots National Series. Race 29 of 30, 2 races before we decide a champion here in this series. We arrive here at this 2/5 of a mile short track for this, the Crescent Hotels and Resorts 250. Coming into this race, as far as the points go, it's Josephine O'Neill with an enormous 32-point lead over Quentin Moore, 40 ahead of Dale Lightning, 46 ahead of Joshua Harrison. Those are the only ones within a race worth of points right now. Josephine O'Neill coming in, trying to clinch the title here tonight. 53 points ahead of Carter Joey, though 64 ahead of Juan Rodriguez, 77 ahead of Jackson Harrison, 80 ahead of Alex Watts, Matt Tuck, and Louis Zankala, who are all tied for 8th in the standings right now. But we have 2 races left before we can really decide a champion here. But if Josephine O'Neill finishes more than 15 positions ahead of Quentin Moore, she will have locked up the championship, as long as she also finishes at least 7 spots ahead of Dale Lightning and 2 spots ahead of Joshua Harrison, and really would need to be up towards the front as well to guarantee that somebody like Carter Joey, Juan Rodriguez, Jackson Harrison, Alex Watts don't make their way back into within a race worth of points of the 64. But we are more than ready to get this one going here at South Boston. Let's go down trackside. We'll get you a starting lineup so we can get this show on the road. And the engines will come to life here at South Boston. 42 going to roll off from the grid. It's Landon Smith Jr. on the pole position there in car number 30, starting alongside Josephine O'Neill. In row number 2, we find Matt Tuck in the 33, starting alongside Igor Barretto. In row 3, it's Dale Lightning and last week's winner at Pikes Peak, Jackson Harrison. In row number 4, we find Alex Watts and Braden Perez. Rounding out the top 10, Carter Joey and Eric Olson. I believe we have everybody rolling off of the grid here. Yes, it does look like we do. So we're going to go racing here at South Boston Speedway. And waiting for the flag to fly, we are green flag racing in South Boston, Virginia. The Crescent Hotels and Resorts 250 is green. Landon Smith Jr. leads lap number 1 here at South Boston. Matt Tuck on the bottom side for second. Josephine O'Neill slipping backwards on the outside. Dale Lightning getting by her. Could be good for Dale Lightning to try to eat some points away from Josephine O'Neill's lead, but it is going to be a hefty thing to try and accomplish here tonight. But he is ahead of her on the racetrack. And as long as that is the case, Josephine O'Neill cannot lock up the championship. But Landon Smith Jr. continues to lead here at South Boston. On to lap 5 we'll go this time by. Do not know if we'll see a pit cycle in this race or not, and I don't know that we really want to find out what would happen if we had a pit cycle here, because the pit road is just so... It wraps all the way around the inside of the racetrack, and especially if we had this race at green when pit cycles happen, I don't know that that would be the best thing in the world. But Landon Smith Jr. leads. Dale Lightning and Matt Tuck are side by side for the second position, and Josephine O'Neill, who started second, they're on the outside of Vic Merlin, all the way back to the 8th position here in the early laps at South Boston. Dale Lightning will clear for the second position. Landon Smith Jr. has pulled away to a little over half a second lead. 0.73 seconds to be exact. Lightning can close that in. He's got to drive real smooth. As low to the apron as he can. 0.82 now the gap. He has not found the car under him just yet. We're already about a fifth of the way done here in the Crescent Hotels Resorts 250 here at South Boston. See where Josephine O'Neill ended up. They're still stuck on the outside line here at the South Boston Speedway. Daniel Bouchard coming in the 7 on the inside. Looks like O'Neill is going to fall now to the 12th position, looks like, and maybe even a little further back. But up front, it is a second lead for Landon Smith Jr. Matt Tuck coming back after Dale Lightning in the 77. And he's going to take second position back away from the 77. They'll move Lightning back to third. 1.14 now the gap from Landon Smith Jr. back to Matt Tuck, who runs second. And still a lot of double file throughout the rest of the field. Quentin Moore in the 88. On track currently. There he is on the inside of Igor Barreto. In the 19th position at the moment. Here he is rounding turn 2 and down the back straightaway into 3 onto the inside of Carter Joey. We're going to take that position away. That would be 18th. And he's going to nose ahead of the 31. A little further ahead on the racetrack. The lead gap stabling out. Here's Vic Merlin on the inside of Alex Watts for the 4th position. And Merlin looks like he is indeed going to take that away from the 00 of Alex Watts. Max Anderson on the inside of John Andrews there for the 6th position. And he will take the position away from the 01. 1.37 seconds now the gap from Landon Smith Jr. back to Matt Tuck. Last car on track right now for your Brockbeard update is Madison Toll. And I do not believe anybody has fallen out of the race just yet. No, nobody has. It's been a fairly clean race for the most part here at the South Boston Speedway. Landon Smith Roberto Crown Jr. to the inside of Alex Watts, who now has the challenge coming from Daniel Bouchard down low. As Landon Smith Jr. continues to lead the way, Matt Tuck ate away at his lead a little bit from 1.4 down to 1.3. We'll see if that Permatex 33 can continue to close in here. 3 wide, a little deeper in the field. Derek Hamill down low on Casey Dean and Joshua Harrison. They'll make it out of that squeaky clean. And Derek Hamill will have a 2-for-1 special. Now the gap down to 0.29 for Landon Smith Jr. ahead of Matt Tuck. Now to 1.08. He is closing in as quickly as he can. Here comes Vic Merlin as well on Dale Lightning. On the inside for third, he's going to take the spot away from the 77. The gap now from first to second, under a second, but Tuck runs it wide. Landon Smith Jr. runs the exit a little wide, but I believe we'll see the 30 having pulled away a little bit this time through. Just a little bit. Yes. Matt Tuck behind by 0.88 seconds now, trying to rebound. Out of corner number 4 they come to complete another lap, onto lap 24. 0.81 the difference. He's continuing to close in little by little, lap after lap. Dale Lightning still in behind Vic Merlin. Josephine O'Neill has slipped way back in the field, all the way back outside the top 20. Now might even lose a position to Nick Martins there. That would be the 20. That would move the 64 back to 25th. And indeed, that's what's going to happen. But we are halfway done here at South Boston Speedway. So let us crank it up here in the Crescent Hotels and Resorts 250. Tuck now within 0.7 of a second of Landon Smith Jr., continuing to close into that 30 car. Coming around for 22 laps to go here at South Boston. 0.6 of a second exact. He looks a lot closer than he actually is. They're just going so slow around this racetrack. You look at the average race speed, it's dipped as this race has gone on, 90 miles per hour. But it dipped from 481 to 443 there in the decimal area. But now the gap down to half a second as Matt Tuck continues to chase down the 30 of Landon Smith Jr., who ran turn 1 and 2 wide that time through. And Tuck continues to close in that Permatex Chevrolet. Up ahead, lap traffic with Madison Tull, 99, and the rest of the field. Remember, this is only a 2/5 of a mile track. Very short track. Here comes Tuck to the inside of Landon Smith Jr. for the race lead, and he is going to take it away. Wow. He closed in immensely that lap through turn 1 and 2 by virtue, I assume, of benefiting from Landon Smith Jr. running the corner wide the lap beforehand. And there he got right to the inside going down the back straightaway. And now he's trying to steal it here at South Boston. Landon Smith Jr. is going to get the bonus point for leading the most laps. But there's 3 bonus points that go to the race winner. And Matt Tuck, who is 80 points behind Josephine O'Neill, who has slipped all the way back to 36th on the track. And there she is, getting passed by another car. That is Jackson Harrison. Derek Hamill slipping backwards on the outside. So the points leader continues to slip backwards. Started second in this race, all the way back now in the 37th position. This could even bring Matt Tuck back into championship contention here. He's won 2 races already this season at Talladega and Charlotte. He runs turn 3 and 4, a little wide though. Landon Smith Jr. is right there on the backside if he makes another mistake. Here he comes to the corner out of turn number 2, down the backstretch. Landon Smith Jr. is right there on the inside to take the race lead away, and he's got it. Coming to 13 laps to go. Tuck continuing to try to work the outside as Josephine O'Neill now the outside of Derek Hamill, about to slip into the last position on track. To 42nd goes Josephine O'Neill, and what a great points night could have been for that 64 is about to be gone. As soon as Landon Smith Jr. gets by, Josephine O'Neill will be a lap down. But will at least get by Madison Tull for the 41st position for the time being. 3rd place there. Teammates side by side, Max Anderson and Vic Merlin going at it. But up ahead, we're coming to 10 laps to go. Keith Kent in front of Derek Hamill and Braden Perez. They're battling side by side deep in this field. That is for 39th between the 64 and 50. Now Perez slips back on the outside. Smith Jr. on the inside of Perez. Matt Tuck to the inside of Tull. They're all trying to fight the lap traffic now. Coming around for 8 more circuits around South Boston Speedway. Landon Smith Jr. trying to hold on. He's got Keith Kent on the outside of him. Matt Tuck stalking him in the 33 on the low side. Just in front of them, Josephine O'Neill, the 64, the points leader, coming in by a long shot. Matt Tuck trying to take an incredible amount of points off of the 80-point deficit. Here he comes to the inside once again for the race lead. 6 laps to go this next time through, and Smith Jr.'s got Derek Hamill in front of him. Tuck's going to use him as a pick, and to the lead goes the 33. 6 laps to go at South Boston. Oh, if Kent gets to the inside of Smith, that's going to be it for him. Yep, that's going to be it unless Smith can get down there. No, he's stuck on the outside now. Yeah, for sure now. It's over. Matt Tuck looks like he's going to win this thing. Dale Lightning in the 9th position on track right now. He's going to take a bunch of points off of Josephine O'Neill's point lead. Quentin Moore on track in the 15th position. He came in 32 back. Oh boy, what a championship race we're going to have at Homestead in just a week. But Matt Tuck trying to thread his way through traffic. Now 3 laps to go. He's got over a second lead now on Landon Smith Jr., who's caught back in traffic, trying to get through a bunch of spider webs. 2 laps to go this time through. Matt Tuck underneath Farley to put Farley a lap down. Josephine O'Neill on the inside of Igor Barreto moves that 64 back up to the 36th position. Now to 35th if she can get by Zachary Fitzwater, but still a lot of points getting taken off of O'Neill's points lead. White flag is out in the Crescent Hotels and Resorts 250 for Matt Tuck here at South Boston. Down the backstretch and into turn number 3. He's going to earn his 3rd win of the season and a ticket to battle for a championship at Homestead. Matt Tuck wins at South Boston. And they'll all get down onto the pit road. Congratulations to Tuck. He earned that one tonight. Used the lap traffic well as a pick. And looks like, see, Josephine O'Neill finished 34th. Tuck will have gained 47 points. And with O'Neill finishing in 36th, not even into the double-digit points gained there. So if Tuck gains 47 points, that would put his 80-point gap down to 33, and then we factor in the points that O'Neill will accumulate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He will be just inside the eligibility to compete for a championship. The most points you could be behind coming out of South Boston to still be in contention for a championship is 47. Tuck will be within 42 points going into Homestead next week. But what a job he did to get up there to chase down Landon Smith Jr. Nobody else could. But Matt Tuck took charge of the race and charged away from Landon Smith Jr. And he will be a long shot at Homestead, but nonetheless, he will be in contention for the championship. A caution-free race here at South Boston. Ethan Farley, the last car to go a lap down, listed as retired, but nothing actually happened to him. Keith Kent, Braden Perez, Madison Tull, and Derek Hamill all fell a lap down, but the points are about to be tightened up astronomically coming out of South Boston. We are going to have one heck of a championship battle at Homestead next weekend. Hope y'all are ready for it. We will see you tomorrow for the Cabela's Cup Series second visit to the Willow Springs International Raceway, and then next week they will also crown their 3rd ever champion, and we will close out the Scots National Series once and for all next weekend. Who will the final Scots National Series champion, at least for the near future, be? We'll have to see. Thank y'all for watching. Congratulations again to Matt Tuck. We'll now take a look at your driver's point standings, your owner's point standings, and wrap it up here in South Boston, Virginia. Y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good one.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.